see, because we released our video when they released our video. Whoops, details, so that you guys don't. Oh no, wait, you guys can see this. Never mind. End of your rope. When is this? I uploaded this on October 20th, and it is now the 23rd. Wow, 3 days to respond. Let's see. Well, Grats Haru on the level. From 05 to 2010, then came back 2017 for 6 months, and now you're back in Destiny. Destiny is probably the best place you could have come back. Game was in a very good state, huge update, lots of free stuff. Oh, this is a song I sing to myself in the mirror every morning. Okay, so we had 3 days. As he replies, a lot of people can't even use the Burninator because they have 8k Legion. Really, Scarter, look at your 8k Legion achievement and tell me what the global completion percentage is. Let's check that, actually. That's a good point. Where would that be under? Under social? No. No. Just general, I guess? Is there an achievement for that? Oh, they added an achievement for that, true. Level up? Is it just under level? Oh, Legion, here we go. Heroically, I don't know what the rank, what the level of, I don't know what the name of my Legion is. Which Legion is the 8k one? Legendary? No, Legendary is... Maybe? How am I supposed to know what the name of my Legion is, bro? Dim Appropriation, what do I have? Legendary Legion rank 3 is 9 point whatever I have. Oh, that's 9. So it's legendary, nice. Legendary rank 1, this one. It's 0.61%. I guess, yeah. I see my mom with 9k, so I guess I assume too much. That's only 1 in 160 people. I mean, that's still a decent amount of people. So it's still many people, so I'm not wrong. That's still a lot of people, but it's not, I guess, as significant of a percentage. 5.5 Legion is only 1.2%. 8% is less than 0.5%. Wait, how much did we check it was? 0.61%. Don't spew nonsense like that. Damn, this guy's fucking triggered. Your audience is made out of people who take your word as law. God, I hope not. Please don't do that. I've seen it on Reddit. Okay, I mean, it's possible, but I don't tell people to do that. What do we say? Or you'll only promote more toxic players thinking everyone has 8k Legion. Damn, dude. If you think I promote toxic people, you have just no idea what the fuck. Oh, yeah. You bought the concert earbuds? Good, good. Lucas Carter, your guys are shit. Swift Rage, yeah. It's the opposite of toxic. No, it's kind of toxic. I checked, and it is 0.61% right now. Indeed, a small part of the community, but the can we check the rankings? Maple saying it's so fucking deep. Player rankings. Shake, 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 shake it out, shake it out. Best purchase ever made. I mean, yeah. I think anything you can do to make sure that your eyes don't get fucked, that your ears don't get fucked, that your teeth don't get fucked, like invest in that shit as early as possible. Because the time when you really need to, it's already going to be too late, and you're going to already have done irreparable damage. Jesus Christ, why is that so annoying to say? You promote toxicity because you want us to ask why and not be sheeple. Yeah, exactly. True. Okay, if I click on that, what kind of suggestions are going to pop up? None. Oh, okay. Nothing weird is going to pop up. Cool. Oh, wait, change ranking. Legion in Reboot NA. Can I look for a level? Oh, God. Is anyone in chat around level 8,000? Daddy Annie. You got to be around 8K, right? Okay. Is anyone out actually close to 8K? So I can check what rank that is? You just hit 8K. Tell me a character of yours. Professor Swirly Eyes. IGM. Mr. Swirly Eyes. Non-reboot. Okay. But I want to know for reboot. Zesty Lad. Zesty Lad. That's okay. I love you, Annie, okay? Just mess. Okay, so what if I look for... Okay. And now what? Can I... Now I can't go to like the person before this or after this? Ranks. Okay, so 6,500? Okay. Okay. Okay, 7,000? Hello? Did you go to name again? Ranks 7,000. Thank you. Okay, so I said a lot of people. He's like, it's only 0.6%. That 0.6% is over 7,000 people, and those are the most active people playing, right? Oh my god, look at how many people are like right on 8K Legion. Do I need to like... Okay, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. I was just zooming one tier. Chill out. Chillax, chill out. Yeah, I take my comments seriously, okay? Upload. Imgur! What? Uh-oh, what is this gonna be? Okay, boom. I just bam. Can I not? Control Shift S. Can I not do this and then just Control V it right in Imgur? I should be able to do that, right? Come on, dude. Come on, dude. New posts. Oh, I had to click new post. Okay, we're good. Legion over 8K reboot NA. Dinosaur. Ooh. 4.2K Legion is ranked 4,416 in Scania. Exactly, right? So I'm not exactly. I kind of made it unfounded, but it's not wrong. There's more opportunity. But that represents almost 7,100 people. Here's a screenshot of the ranking. If you think that saying that 7,092 people are a lot of people, if you think of people is wrong, then we will have to agree to disagree, since these people also make up a large percentage of the active player base. In any case, it's still nice for people who can use it, but for those thousands that can't, it's a little people at the platform have an impressionable audience. Well, have an audience. Just because you have a platform doesn't mean you have an impressionable audience. It means you have an audience. Yeah. Bro, I mean, this is like somebody who takes like one little piece of information and just fucking runs with it, dude. Like basically my entire platform is like helping new players. 99% of them not being 8K Legion. Like the reason you could think I'm like part of the people with that statement, because I think that 7,000 people are a lot of people. I'm like promoting the whole community thinking that everyone under 8K Legion is garbage or something. It's like you're just reading so much into it. Jesus. You just commented toes? Well, I mean, I want to make sure that they have now immediately enough information to either see like, oh, that's actually, okay, never mind. Or they have something else that they can reply to. So there's 92 active? No, but those people with 8K Legion are going to be disproportionately more active and make up more of the playtime than the people who don't have 8K Legion. Right? Like mathematically. Watch him respond like, OMG, didn't expect you to reply, I'm a big fan. It's either that or it's like, oh my god, this is so... No, or it's going to be even worse. 1,352 people in Scania with 8K? That's still a decent amount. I think it's a big W as long as we get better ways to get nodes and familiars to compensate. Yeah, those things are going to get hit. I think I will say definitely we need familiars in all areas. Familiars just need to drop everywhere. You can't just have them drop in some places and not in some other places. Or you need to just completely remove familiars, like one of the two. I don't think this way works, where they're creating like artificial bottlenecks. I don't think that's good. And then as far as nodes go, I am a pretty big proponent of slow nodes building up. I think that's fine. Nodes are OP as hell, but this is more like a reboot versus non-reboot problem. Like, do you think that reboot should not have an increased chance of getting them where non-reboot has the market, right? That's more like, how do you accompany for that rather than just give us more? I think if anything, that's where the argument is, not just in I want to build my nodes faster. Because yeah, cool, but again, that's a lot of times these arguments can be reduced to I just want to get stronger faster with less effort, which you can have that argument, but like I feel like you need more there to make like a cohesive argument, right? Please give us red cards, something like that. I think just starting with familiars in all the areas first, so that people don't get like, you know, Limina stuck forever, like in Limina in 1-4 prison or whatever, like so the people in Grandis and all of Grandis can get cards, stuff like that. Like in Celis as well. Like, why does Celis not have cards all of a sudden? It's so weird. Kind of have had the intentions to of that. It would have been a patch notes. No, next one. Well, just because they don't have the initial allegations, that doesn't mean that if the whole community is like annoyed at it, that they wouldn't give it as like part of appeasement to make sure that they can ease the transitioning process into this, because they probably realize that's a pretty big change, if not just by insight, by the response of the community. So if there's like a small thing they can do to ease the transition, they could do that. So it's not necessarily a bad idea to just come up with some possible solutions that could make the process less bad, the change less bad. Just because you think they might not do it, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't suggest it at all. So I don't think it's a bad thing to do that. Remove totems, they're going to see how it goes. It might also, they might also just wait a little bit. And please complain and quit, things will change. Otherwise, this is what we get. A measly as 20% cost reduction. But again, like this is This is basically like the Kana reaction, but now for everyone. It's like we've been so much stronger and going so much faster than what the game was balanced for like all these years, and now they're removing that extra thing we had. But now we're still stronger than what the system was built for, and that's bad because we're not going as much faster as we could be, or as we were before. It's like it's really just a number go down bad argument, which I think they knew, right? Which is why they had the totems in the first place, is to get the player base back. I was on the brink off quitting anyway. Wrong off, guys. Extra F there. Wait, can I zoom in a little bit? Okay, hang on, so people can actually read this shit. There we go. But this settles it. Good luck to everyone else. Thanks, bro. Two, like that, right? I think an extra comma. I didn't type out thanks though. Talk me 1 point. Why different releases of the same game? Without because the market's player bases are different. If you go to McDonald's, is it McDonald's? Is it McDonald's? Is it like that? I don't even know how you write it. I never go there. Anywhere in the world, the menu will be different since the people are. Products answer to the demands of the market. Wow, econ, throw it in there. Hell yeah. Okay. Guess Maple rewards are worthless now. This guy is called Tilt Vision, and it has a salt picture, so we're not taking that bait. I know myself, and I'm very fearful of the mass quitting leading to eventual death of this game. That is a possibility. Mass quitting is going to lead to more people quitting, which then leads to Nexon seeing GMS is unprofitable. I think, haven't we been unprofitable for super long? Like, haven't we only been profitable for like 1 year total since like 17 years that it existed or something? Along with COVID numbers declining, I just don't see this going well. Oh, just going there. We're just gonna get less and less resources, fewer, and they just shut us down. That's possible. We'll see how this goes. I mean, maybe they'll just bring back the totems, you know. What about frenzy totems? It seems they stay unchanged. With the existing caveat. Caveat. Wait, how do you spell that? Caveat. Oh, with an E. Jesus. Caveat. That they won't work past level 300. What toys do you get in adult Happy Meals? I don't know, dildos probably. Change is good when done correctly. When done correctly. I mean, change is good if it... Oh, Jesus, how do you say this? I guess change is good if it meets the goal of what the change was set out to reach, right? I don't know how if you can salvage that sentence. That all change is good? Definitely not. I think that the differentiation is vital. Well, yeah, of course, yeah. Give totems for years only to take them away makes very little sense. Well, it takes a lot of sense. If they hadn't given Totem, probably MapleStory would have died back then. There's a very good chance. But he gives someone like a carrot on a stick, and a lot of people come back, and then you slowly wean them off of it. And by bringing back, making the base game be more and more prevalent, and the main thing that you're chasing, you can kind of goad a whole bunch of people into actually playing the game that they eventually didn't want to. So it does make sense. It's not that it doesn't make any sense. It definitely does. Oh, very little sense. Sorry. Well, that's the very little. I guess it does. If it was an issue with the serviceability or something else, it should have been spotted much earlier on. Holy wall. Okay, instead of left totems and regularly made players. Well, the big problem again is I guess you're agreeing with what I'm saying. It would be way cooler if they actually addressed specifically and mentioned what is that larger larger direction for the game that you are chasing. Because the only reason they said is like we're doing this because of the larger direction that we have for the game. But that doesn't explain what that is, because a lot of people were asking like, "Oh, is this going to go now soon? Is this going to get deleted? What do you think about what's coming next?" It's like I can't really say that if they don't say why they did this in the first place, because then it's really hard for me to make any projections based on this on what's coming next. You know. I have to power through this. As a band-aid for low base spawn raising like. Assessing low base spawn. I mean, honestly, if you want like super high level base spawn memory, like you have like Lost Ark and you have like Path of Exile, where you could just like run through dungeons with 16 million monsters that you can kill every half a second. There are other games for that, you know, that you can play like that, where you just like run around just like and kill 100 monsters per second like forever. This is just a different game, right? I do get that it's going to be different, but again, the initial response is to like, what if I train in my map without a totem? That's going to be garbage. Well, yeah, but the whole point is that you're going to go to different maps, right? Bigger maps with more monsters, more spawn, where you travel to different monsters, or you use, God forbid, use map teleports to get around maps. Like, that's why they're there, you know? And that's going to be fine for some people and not for some other people, and that's okay, you know? And if you think that there should be change, that you could definitely talk about that, but again, like I feel like it's important to have good arguments and not just, but I want to be stronger faster, you know? Because that's like a really bad argument. Because that's the same argument you can use for, I want to log into a character and have it be like 25-star arcane because I want to be stronger faster, right? That's just the extreme version of that argument. So you need something else there. You're like, for example, like I want it to be more fun, and for me, it's fun to kill a lot of monsters quickly and not to sit there and wait for respawn, for example. Like that's a stronger argument. That's the one you want to go with, right? I remove it all of a sudden with lackluster justification. But if you make it, yeah, if you make that one, you have to make sure that you've tried stuff and not be like, oh, I was in the same map, same small map. I was in CLP in 2022 without a totem, and the map was shit. I'm like, yeah, no shit, dog. Like, that's like CLP is like the most 2017 map ever. Like, another move all of a sudden with lackluster justification. Again, the sudden removal and the late notice, that's something I touched on as well, so you're just completely agreeing with me so far, I guess, but like rewriting the whole thing for some reason. And then you're mentioning nodes and familiars, which I also mentioned. It's fun to consider longevity of the game. It's gotten much older. We don't have the time to allocate to do so. I think as you get older, though, hopefully you get more mature as well in the way of not needing to have like a big level of your character to feel like you're enjoying yourself in a video game. I would hope that like with the years, the maturity also comes to like, I just want to have a fun experience. Like I want the journey to be fun and fulfilling, and not like I need the number one level spot or something. That seems like a very competitive, like early teens, like early 20s, like college era, like meme, right? So I don't know necessarily if the audience getting older and having less time is necessarily an argument for that. If anything, audience getting older is more of a reason on why you don't really have like super old people in MMOs. Or you do, but like past a certain point, right? Like once kids are like out of the house or some shit. Play Vampire Survivors. Actually, that one looked a little fun. I think I saw some of that. CL Prison. Okay. I mean, you can just mention it to him, right? You can always put in an unban request and just like ask like why it was and ask if you would consider unban, you know? Is the idea to be more like KMS? It might be, but again, that's also a question that I have. If we're going to the some benefits in terms of better access, publishing, pushing with the plus with all More time I do not stop playing the game any longer. It's been fun to play the game for the small business. If you slow things down, what it's mainly going to do is it's going to increase the value of everything that takes time to do. Like if you need more money to Star Force, then a higher Star Force, then the item with the same amount of Star Force is going to be more impressive because it's going to be harder to get. You know, like if it takes longer to level, then a high level is just going to be more impressive. That's all it does. All it does is like reset what you find impressive and what your standards are. That's really the only thing it does. But since your standards are going to have to go up, that's always like weird because people want their standards to have to go down, which means like you get more stuff. But you're really just getting played by the game there because you're just getting a bigger number, but it represents the same amount of time. You're getting a small number that represents more, but your brain is not able to be like, oh, small number now means more than it did before. No, small number is always bad, so therefore this is a bad change, right? You just have to make that switch with it, and it's really simple. It's like, imagine if you're, it's like the same thing if you like devaluated your currency or something. Like, imagine that you made half the money, but also everything became half as expensive. Like half the price, right? Sorry, not half as expensive. Half the price. A lot of people would be upset because now they have a smaller number. But if you look at it, you still have exactly the same buying power, so you don't have less money. The number is just smaller, but it represents more. But, yeah. I know that it's like, I guess it's not intuitive. I don't know. But you now earn half as much. It's bad. Yes. It's like when the euro. It's actually very normal. Like when the euro started in the Netherlands, because they had their euro was worth their currency, the gulden. I don't know what the guldens. they were worth 50 cents. So it felt really bad for them and weird in the beginning. It looked like everything got cheaper, but then it also like cut their wages. But yeah, anything I've said, like probably the better fix would be like just have more monsters being killed and just cut our rates for Mezzo and some for drop rate, I guess, to like kind of tweak it. That'll probably feel better for more people. But I think we're just getting ahead of ourselves because the changes haven't even gone through yet. I think we just have to go through it because we saw this with every single change with Kishin, is that a lot of people are crying, people are quitting, people are leaving, and then like a day after the release, people already figure out how to change things so that there isn't actually a nerf or that we end up actually buffed from before. Right now, that extreme of a case is probably not going to happen, but just the fucking crying before it's even in the game, I was like, let's just give it a chance, just see what it's like, try to find solutions. But for me, that's fun, When the game throws you like a curveball, try to figure out some cool new ways that you could do shit. And then see how you can make that work, rather than complaining because number go down, right? But that's just always going to be my approach, and I know that's definitely not the general person's approach. We talk a lot about like Zoomer gamers versus Boomer gamers. I'm definitely a hardcore Boomer gamer. I don't know if you feel like you have to finish all the totems. You have a problem. You should never feel obligated to finish all of them. Just my opinion, though. That's probably true. That's part of the things where I say, like, play the game. Play the game. Don't let the game play you. Mosquito, go away. Whoever proved that the community post should be fired. It did nothing but spread fear and hate among the community. It's a joke to them. Okay. When a 2PC meta came around, I really think they should have just solved everything there. Should have just increased spawn rate in all maps or increased EXP gain. Then this would never need to happen. The problem is if you just increase the spawn rate or you increase the EXP gain, then that becomes the basic. And then anything that goes below that is then going to feel bad. Just increasing the baseline doesn't fix any problem, especially not if the problem that they're apparently trying to fix is get closer in line with KMS, which seems like what they're saying, right? Again, this is like just make a stronger forehead. Everyone will be happy, Also, 2PC meta being against that, being a little bit reductionist, but that's always silly because a 2PC meta technically will exist always everywhere. You're always going to have benefits from having two accounts logged in at the same time. Even if you're doing like League of Legends, you can log into like a second account, queue against yourself and an int on the other computer, right? Like you can always have some kind of benefit from having two accounts logged in at the same time. That's pretty much always going to exist. And to an extent, you would want that to exist as a developer because then you have more then you can like boost the amount of players you have online, right? Nexon definitely did that very deliberately. Why do you think they have all those AFK rooms during events, right? So that people stay logged in, they can log more player hours, and then they can go to sponsors, they can go to people to collab with and be like, oh, look at the amount of player hours we're logging, you know, look at how popular the game is, look at the login time, and then you know you can post those big numbers and be like, well, boom, look. But yeah, you get them in a very cheap way, but you get them in many different ways, right? What the fuck? This is not okay. Angry faces. What can we do? We've stopped other things from happening. Why not try to stop this one? If you feel strongly, I highly advise to make posts on the MapleStory forums and subreddit. Make sure to massage. Maybe massage as well. That could also work. Message or massage kick. The community manager with relevant posts you find that voice the concerns that you have. Why don't you just give up to 4 totems instead of 17? Again, this could be a good suggestion, but I don't know what they're essentially trying to fix. If I knew what they were essentially trying to fix, then a lot of these suggestions could be put into a different light, but I don't know. Nice arbitrary number, yeah. Sounds like that's almost the average amount of totems Udvar's uses. If only we know the full context of this sudden news, then I could use that to value your suggestion. Boom. Okay. I think they should add nodes and red cards to the GMS exclusive content instead of removing it. I think it revitalized the content. Well, this is something I've been talking about for like honestly for at least 5 years. Is that there needs to be better content integration. There needs to be some way. They tried it a little bit with the Phantom Forest and the coins there, and then the Golok shop, and the fact that the Golok shop can sometimes buy those coins as well. We need some kind of way that the content interacts with each other, so that whenever you get new content in the game, it doesn't mean that it's either better than something else and it just completely replaces it and now the old content is dead, or it's worse than existing content and then it is dead on arrival because we already have something that's better. We need some kind of way that the things empower each other and make each other better, that you get some coins here, some coins there, some items that you just need to get from certain places, maybe temporary items that are not like weekly or monthly but like slightly longer, but ways of upgrading something that makes sense and that feel rewarding. Just way that content stays relevant if people are willing to spend the time in it, you know. A little bit FOMO might come in there because it's like, oh, technically you could be the best here, but now you're forced to do like weeklies in 16 million areas. That wouldn't necessarily be better. But if it is that convoluted, then a lot of people can also freely say, well, it's too much fucking work. I'm just not going to do that, right? It's not like enough of a gain. There has to be a balance that could be struck there, you know? We definitely need a better content integration. Been saying that for years. Hope we see it someday. Someday? Is someday in one word? Someday? Or just someday? Yeah, someday, right? Yeah. It's a complicated situation, to be honest. I'm fine with the hit on meso rates. There's less star forcing and cubing. Oh, okay. But watch music rises in 4 areas, drop rates, more time, investment, higher dependency on dailies and EXP cuts. The drop rates has already been mentioned plenty of people. Dude, look at the punctuation though in my comments. Dude, my community is the best. Even on YouTube, dude. Imagine YouTube comments being this well punctuated. With no ability to level in short-ish efficient. Oh, it's edited though, maybe. Efficient bursts anymore comes a plethora of side effects. For example, this will mean A plethora. Tip milady. Monster Park is practically mandatory to get ESPN. How unenjoyable that content is. We'll get better with Extreme though. We'll get better with Extreme and with Ignition. Bunch of the maps are made better. There's 3 extra areas coming in, right? There's Morass, or 2 extra areas. But now every area, at least in the Vanishing River, every big area is going to have its own Monster Park, and then Monster Park Extreme on top of that. But they wanted to make it so that not everyone just spams a nice stronghold, but that the other ones also have a reasonable amount of time to do it in. That means you're proportionately spending much more time doing unengaging daily chores than training in maps and having fun. I might be reading into this. He might mean training in maps or having fun as a separate thing. Training in maps and having fun, I don't know a lot of people who are like, oh my god, I get to grind today. I'm going to have so much fucking fun. I'm going to kill this monster, loot that bag, and then I'm going to kill that other monster, and this is so fucking fun for me. I mean, at this point, grinding is just another chore, no? I mean, to go back a little bit to what I said before, I feel like it will just go to the point where the levels will just mean more now because people will associate more work with the levels. And this goes way back to whenever we're talking about like people botting or people hacking. It's like it's a sign. Let me start my sentence the 6th time. It's really a sign of where you've just completely lost the plot, right? Because the goal is I want to get a high level. Why? Because, that makes you strong. Why does it make you strong? Because it's a big time investment. You get a lot of like respect for it because there's a bunch of time that you have to spend to get that. But then you hack or bot for it so that you can get the damage without having to put the time in, but so that you still want all the benefits of having to spent a lot of time without having actually have done it. And it's like, well, you're corroding the very value of the thing, right? The value of the thing is that time is spent, but without you spending time. So the same thing here is like, if the hours just become more valuable, because if you remember, we talked about this, I think, during 2 or 3 progression sessions not too long ago. Like back in the day, people would just sit AFK in town maps and just like talk to each other. Why? Because your time wasn't that valuable. You couldn't like either gain a level or talk for 10 minutes. No, it was like you would have to, it was gain a level or talk for like 35 hours or something, right? So you had time to spend because there wasn't that much going on. Now there's so much going on, so your time is just so much more valuable. By taking away a little bit of value from your time, it feels bad, but it does allow you to go to slightly just to slow down a little bit more again and to be like, to like catch your breath, to look around, to talk to some people again. It's not bad. It's not for everyone though. For not everyone, this is a positive change. Of course not. But I liked some aspects of the game where we could just chill out and just hang out. Now everyone's doing it in voice and Discord, but not everyone. So hopefully people have a little bit more time to do that, Anyway, actually, yeah. Damage like sounds might never take granted how enjoyable the game is when you can actually expect to get these mid-end game bosses. Take away the expedient people there. This goes into like getting carries and people trying to speedrun games. So this is just something that I have a completely different opinion on. To be honest, I've never had less fun in the game when I could do all the content in the game, and there was only like 1 or 2 bosses left for me to look forward to. I never had less fun at that point. That made me just want to play another character and go back into the journey and like, feel like what it was like back when you had like a lot more room to grow, honestly. For me, like scratching endgame means that I've put too much time into one character, basically. Like I've gone too much in depth. I need to go in with again or play another game for a bit. But some people do that. They play a game, fucking speedrun it, get to endgame, and then go play it, and then quit, go play another game, and then come back like 6 months later, check the update, like fast paced through the through the update, get to the newer content, and then like quit again. Some people play like that, People have different gamer profiles, Bossing part is gonna be hyper burning. We're supposed to be fixed. I mean, hyperburning is just trying to push people to 250 who've never gotten to 250 before, so they can actually do those bosses, without damage reduction, and also take advantage of that 17% reduction of 250 to 260 or to 259, I guess, EXP for leveling up. But again, yeah, a lot of this stuff is just done over our heads, Nexon in Korea, and we're just getting like the hand-me-down, trickle down, nerfonomics. And that's just kind of what we have to deal with. But again, you can complain if you want to. You definitely should. If you have a strong opinion about this, think about that opinion, write it down, word it, and try to get support for it, and try to get something done. I'm just not going to be, at the barricades agreeing with you that it should change, but I'm definitely going to fight for your right to be able to say it. Removing is a good move so that we have people stop playing Kana, and after their mains they enjoy, but removing the spawn enhancement for GMS is not a healthy move for the non-Korean player base, considering we're not nearly as tolerant to time wasters as they are. That's true, but whether we have the brain rot of like bigger number, faster, better, it doesn't have to be a time waster. I mean, in a sense, isn't all time you spend on MapleStory wasted then? You just shift your paradigm slightly on what you value and how much you value it. That's really all it is. It doesn't really have much to do with like, oh, it's slower now, so now the whole game is pointless. That's like saying like somebody who loses like 10 minutes out of a day to be able to play, then should quit, right? Because that's like the level of efficiency, or like someone who can't play every day in the week anymore should just completely quit. It's about like finding what's fun for you and just focusing on that, right? And if that's another game, that can be another game, and that's great. Play that other game. Have so much fun. I want that fun for you, okay? I can't imagine about the Suffers concept is more let the traces to go last checkpoint, i.e. 15-20 will be much better rates higher, and just go. Yes, fucking boom traces going down to 12 is super stupid. I heard a few suggestions. JHK said a while ago like that something like I could get into like or it could support was that if you boom an item on any amount of stars on a character specifically, I guess you should be able to safeguard up until that amount of stars if you ever get another one. I do agree though, if it booms past 20, it should at least go down to 15 just to save you the time of 12 to 15, because it's in cost, it's not that crazy. It's just a huge time waster. Just don't fuck me with that, If it's 20 plus, get it to 15, but like if you have that plus being able to safeguard, like if you boom your first eye patch 18 and 19, or like you boom your first eye patch like 21 to 22, and then you get another one, a year later, and then you boom 17 to 18, is like, wow, what a great year that was for 3 seconds of, But if you know for sure that you can at least safeguard it up to 21, then you've got like a pretty decent chance, right? Yeah. But then again, somebody who gets 17 to 18 and then just keeps booming 17 to 18 is still fucked. It's definitely not a perfect system. I feel like if anything for pitch is to specifically have some kind of pity system. But I think the only time it will is when accessories come out that are even better. And then there might be a pity system for them, which that could take forever, of course. Also make e-bosses useful and make them drop 1 to 5 nodes. Nodes from e-bosses? Honestly, I support that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Because they're pretty annoying as they are, so they should be a huge benefit for them for killing them as well. Everyone's situation, better gameplay, game is different. Yeah, so for example, I'm almost 9k Legion, have boss meals that make 15 a week, and I've never used more than 5 totems per month. So change only affects me in respect to my ambition to push my main to 250 and farming. Wait, his main isn't 250, but he's got a 9k Legion and makes 15 bill a week on bossing meals? He's got to have a bunch of 230 pluses then, right? Like 230 to 240s? Must be really close. So maybe a node shop and an overall increase in spawn rate would be a perfect fix. The former, I guess, is probably more likely. Yeah, again, but this is looking for like, okay, I'm losing something, so just give me the same thing back in a different way. That's never going to be the fix, right? Because if that was the fix, then why would they break the thing in the first place? I do hear this argument a bit, so I have to ask. Do you think if the removal of I will assume here the totem removal had at least something to do with spawn stability and rate of progression. Why do you think they would remove them but then do something like your suggestion, which is increasing the spawn? Why would they remove them in the first place if they were just going to move the copy the problem somewhere else? Genuinely curious. Miyagata Yozora no Shitachi no Hikari Mishina Moyo Igata Jidaiku Yasuru Hobora Tudoko Pokono Momo to Kandaneka no Monemi. Dude, the amount of gamers that are married is too damn high. You guys actually have lives with kids and are married? How the fuck do you guys play an MMO like MapleStory? You guys cannot have like healthy marriages. Or you're like super people. You guys are all super people. I don't know. 9k across 42 characters is 214-ish? Is that true? 200 of 42 is 8.4. 600 levels. 600 divided by 42. Oh yeah, that's less than yeah, that's right, less than 15. Yeah. I prefer to find my own maps that I enjoy playing on. Good. I kind of know that all the content creators are supporting the change. Maybe it's because they are getting paid NX by Nexon from Beam Brigade. True. Except me, right? Since I am neutral. I mean, I don't support it. I'm not against it. It just is, you know. I'm pretty like, whatever. The only thing I've seen, the only one I've seen enough for it is Arthurus. Wait. I can't tell. I think he started writing arthritis, and I was like, no, it's not really arthritis. It's like iris at the end. But then he had already wrote the R here, so he's got an extra R in there. Poor Remily. Okay, what's the base spawn time like without totems? Oh god, what is it? Oh, there was like a breakdown of this. I remember there was a breakdown of this where it goes to the closest multiple of 240 milliseconds or some dumb, or 480 milliseconds or some dumb shit. Because remember when they nerfed totems and nerfed Kishin, but because of the intervals that spawn goes to, the nerf actually didn't nerf the spawn, and the spawn was still at the same time, but now the totems instead were just cheaper, so it was a buff actually. Does anyone have like a breakdown of that? Totem, MapleStory, totem, spawn times. There was like a... hang on, there was like a YouTube video on this. Wait, there's a timer with 3K views. Oh, here, this one. Oh, a theories video. MapleStory is dead. Rip Wild. Was it? Oh no, it's not this video. No spawn, wild, fury, frenzy. Oh, I'm covering the fury. I'm at 94, 100, 117, 122, 126, 140, 145, 164, 166. Okay, how far did we go? Wait. Okay, you guys can see the bottom left, but the bottom left is 309, okay? So, like, the Fury and the Wild were the same because of the timers on it. But you see that they're almost double from no. And that the Frenzy is not quite, but is like almost double of the other totems. But it's like roughly, what is it, like 3.5x the base? 3 is 480. 3.25x the base monster skill in this map, and then some maps are more positively affected by it than others. But the exact timers I don't really remember anymore. There was a breakdown on it somewhere, but my dream is to be able to play. Oh yeah, hang on. I'm going to. I found this, but some more Googling might be acquired. My dream is to be able to play the Korean server. If the GMS turns into Korean for me was good. I want Goo, Ping, Respawn too. True! If they want to make it harder, fine. I hope they don't expect us to log in daily anymore. Arcane River. Dude, imagine a game in 2022 that doesn't give you rewards for logging in every day. I said this before, like, if you only have 2 hours to a week to play, the game wants you to play. 2 hours is a bad example. An hour and 45 minutes a week to play. The game wants you to play 15 minutes a day. Not an hour and 45 minutes on one day and then not for the rest of the week. Why? Because if they can get you to log in every single day and they get to create that habit, that is a powerful thing. Because now if they give you some kind of event that gets you to play 5 minutes extra per day, now if you're logging in 15 minutes a day, you go from 15 to 20 minutes a day. That's not a big move for you. That's only like a little bit extra. That's okay. You know, leaving aside the fact that it's like 33% extra time, right? But if you only play once a week and you play 5 minutes extra, you're playing an hour and 50 minutes a week. But if you play 50 minutes a day and you go for 5 minutes extra per day that you play, now you're playing 35 minutes extra, right? Now you're playing annoying amounts of time. Now you're playing 2 hours and 20 minutes, right? Or maybe not, if my maths are rough, right? But now, like, the increase is way bigger, right? So they want you to come back every day. They want you to get into the habit. They want you, even when you're not thinking about it, you're just turning on your computer and you're logging in, and you're like already into the game half an hour before you realize, like, why did I even log in? I didn't even feel like doing anything today. Like, that's what works, right? It's not good, definitely not. I don't even think it's ethical, but that's what they do, right? That's what games do. Arcane Riverdale is because it takes forever, and we have no shortcuts like non-reboot does. But again, we're playing the fucking try-hard version, right? Or the hardcore version, whatever we should say. Have to log in daily for each character. Yeah, it's not amazing. Very low amount of DCs as I crashed for the 4th time today. Yeah, I have to get careful again. We are definitely in a better period in regards to crashing, but definitely not in the best one anyway. I think the change is good for the aspect of time. I know for myself, even non-reboot, it always felt like a chore to do 2 hours. I've heard that one a lot. But it's mostly going to be the people who weren't even finishing their totems at all, who are like, you know, if I only had like 4 hours to really grind and I could do those on totems, you know, they're losing that. There's just a lot of profiles of players where for some it's like not a big deal, so they're like whatever. And then for some people, like, I already had such limited ways of making progress, and now that's getting taken away as well. Like, ugh, you know, whether you see it as a resource that was very scarce to you, or whether it's one that was overly plentiful, that's going to determine whether or not you really care or not, right? But again, if you care a lot, you know, make your voice heard, make good arguments, spread them, get people to sign up for them, make a change.org petition, you know. Blah, blah, blah. Hopefully there is frenzy. Yeah, okay, a non-reboot has a little bit of a different situation. I remember a time when I only trained on wild totems. I hated that I needed to be available for 2 hours. You don't need to, of course, right? You can do you could do 45 minutes of a totem. That's fine too, right? That works as well. You don't need to do 2 hours. It's just you can use it for up to 2 hours. But again, this is where your brain comes in, and this is where a game like Nexon knows that you're going to feel bad if you use something that is active for only 2 hours, quote unquote, right? And then you don't even use it for the full 2 hours. But again, if you're not even going to use your full totems, you might as well use a totem for 45 minutes, or you might as well use a totem for 30 minutes. That's still better than just letting it expire. At least in those 45 and 30 minutes, you have rates, you have gains. Plus, you're the one who gets to decide when you use it and if you use it or not, right? Don't let the game decide that you're going to use all of them and that you're going to use them for 2 hours each. You're just getting played by the game again then, right? Blah, blah, blah. I get this will be hard change for a lot of people, but maybe this will let people feel like this game doesn't have a hold on you by not being toned down with aspects of the game. Well, I mean, if you're letting yourself only get out of a hold because the game is letting you out of it, then you're still letting the game decide what you're doing. So I think this is correct. You won't feel as much like that has a hold on you, but it doesn't mean it doesn't. Still remember with a WAP, unless you have an unreasonable amount, just being able to turn it. I will say, though, it's way easier to go like hardcore on WAPs, because even if you're just one character unlocked on Threads of Fate, you make a fuck ton of those potions very easily, very quickly. I said now it takes 6 hours to reach 2 hours of totem work. Well, that's not exactly true. That's a little exaggeration, but it will take more, yeah. Really helped on time since totems locked you to the map, making it impossible to leave or log out, right? You know, it's definitely true. Yep. No, WAPs are easy to come by. Pop one for 30 minutes, no problem. You can get a lot more. All you need is Threads of Fate, baby. Okay. As if building up Legion wasn't time consuming enough, I just did that over so much time. They're just making it even more annoying for no reason. Again, for no reason that you know, all right? Or for no reason that you agree with, or for no reason that you think is good enough, right? I mean, none of this stuff is done for no reason. I would hope that it's done for a reason, right? Because you would never take a risk like this, getting backlash from your community, if you had absolutely no reason to do it. That'd be so fucking stupid. I have no idea how I would expect to get new players when the early game is so trash. Yeah, I don't know. The problem is, once you're experienced at MapleStory, you can never really experience the early game again. Because there's just so much stuff you already know, even without actively thinking about it, that just makes you make better decisions. It's impossible to come into a game that you've known for so many years as a completely new player and pretend that you know what the new player experience is. You really have to ask people who are completely new and who are not immediately getting toxic shit thrown at them about how bad they should feel about their progress because it used to be faster at some point. Letting new players just experience the game for what it is, and then somehow getting that feedback and being like, hey, how do you guys enjoy the game? Hopefully give us an insight. But again, it's not even in the game yet, right? It's going to take another month, probably 2 months until all the totems are out. We're in Ursa's already? Yeah, we were in Ursa's 2 hours and 13 minutes before this time on channel 18 all the time. In general, I like to change spawn and hunters feel necessary in a game where hitting monsters is most of the daily content, whereas bossing is a weekly activity, but the implementation to it as Totem sucks. 2-hour limit chunks, maintaining 2 hours, forcing other playing yeah, like not going to the bathroom when you need to, that kind of stuff. Make sure you poop before you Totem, guys. Should just increase spawn rate naturally, not to double, but enough to where, as you said, you aren't waiting for respawns. The problem is, why do they make like really small maps with like no monsters in it, and then like really big maps with like way more monsters? I guess to fit the classes and to fit weaker versus stronger people, but man, mobility, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the balance there is good for this. But yeah, even if it's the same, like it's always going to feel better for people. Like if you can kill one monster in a map every hour, and it gives you the same amount of experience as grinding for a whole hour, it won't be as satisfying to people. Like it will be for that 1 second, but if that's the only way you can get EXP, that will be a less exciting way for people to get experience than if you had to be, like you have to be in a map for an hour before a monster spawns, and you wait for that one monster, and then you kill it, and you get the EXP of an hour equivalent now. That'll just be way less satisfying than seeing like tens of thousands of monsters dying and all of the bags and all of the loot, you know? So if those are your choices, option 2, but it seems that that's something that maybe the servers can handle, or they're trying to cut back on the server costs or something, and that would mean not going as hard on the spawn. I don't know. It could be just a financial decision, honestly. It would be cool to know, but I guess we don't. Next one is EXP curves. Benefits, totems. We were all just. I mean, it seems that a lot of the people in the comments just agree that a lot of people are trying to grasp at straws on like why is it possibly, you know, and then why is that a good or a bad thing. But in the end, we don't really know if it was just like a financial decision, like hey, we need to cut back on server space, and there's a lot of extra pressure on the servers because of totems. So let's just X those. That could really just be like a decision from like quote unquote from corporate, and then you're like, okay, cool, let's get rid of them. Like, and that's it. That could be all there is to it, you know. I also find it silly how all of the I'm quitting posts on Reddit have sprung up. If hitting monsters for 2 hours at a time was all you did in this game, we should. I mean, I don't think you can really say like you should be playing the game this way, you should be playing the game that way. But I do agree to an extent where it's like yelling that you're quitting for something that might be coming. If the balance was that delicate, I doubt that you were really having all that much fun. I guess to put that a little bit more nicely, I guess. I was really focused on cap progression and before Legion. I'm making 6K on alt. Jesus, totems are a huge part of my game. Costs are still higher than KMS is irrelevant. Rules finance. That's a bad for solo. Maybe we got 2K nodes for 42 plus characters and plan for hitting 10K plus Legion, getting familiar and a new arcane sets. The drop nerf is too much for me. It's also much less fun when waiting for respawns. But your Legion is just gonna mean more. If you do still reach that goal, it's just gonna mean more. It's gonna mean the same as if you had a 10.1k Legion before that or something, right? It's really just adjusting expectations. Well, totems. Oh wait, okay. A Stakona comment. These are always good. Stakona, don't disappoint me. Come on. Wild Totems addition made them increase the meso cost of stuff. So no totems means cheaper meso stuff. Wild Totems only last a month. They don't need to give us more time. Okay, kind of incohesive, but okay, incoherent. I was down for removal of vacation, and also down for removal of wild totems only as long as other compensations are provided for the areas that will be affected. Removing the totems won't just affect meso farming, so another surface reduction isn't sufficient enough. Isn't sufficient or isn't enough. That's the same word. Stuff like XP rates and node stones, familiar cards, arcane drop, harder to farm. True, but that doesn't mean that that's bad, right? It will be harder to farm, but now you have to provide an argument as to why that's bad, right? Real feel bad for any new players that may want to start playing MapleStory. You don't have to, because they don't know what they're missing, and their reality will be just the base of what this is right now. They will only feel bad if you tell them that they should feel bad because they could have gotten more if they started playing a month earlier. That'll poison their mind into seeing what they're getting as being insufficient. That is the way that you can actively help new players by just letting them experience what they're experiencing and just leaving that for what it is, instead of spreading that they should be having a bad time, basically. Don't feel bad for them because they don't know what they're missing. You can feel bad for you, but even that is just unnecessary. Like, that's just a waste of time, right? Also, new players, you always have to look at it through the bigger picture. This is definitely a big hit. This is a big nerf for now. But in a few months, in 6 months, in a year, when those new players are getting where you are now, they probably overall have to be careful because totems are huge, but it's possible that they got to the same point as you did, was still with the same amount of time or still with less time, because of the general progression of like power creep and EXP curves going down and leveling events and new areas and all of that stuff and equips becoming more available. Always happens in Nexon, right? Even if there is a temporary big hit like this one is huge. That does not mean that the players that start now will not reach where you are now in less time than you did it. And most likely, I'd probably put money on it, but it's like hard to say. But I'd probably put money on the fact that they will most likely reach it before, like in less time than you did it. Because that's how the game is just built. To give people more number in the same amount of time to feel like they're progressing faster. That's just how the game is set up in general. But it's not always... it's like not a scatter plot, but it's like it goes up and down a little bit. But the general trend is upwards, like always, or in speed at least. Transposing a 97 flame score, opinion, Dom Pendant. I usually advise a 105 or higher. 97 is not bad. 97 could be good enough to turn into a drop or mezzo one, so that you could just use it for that. And then if you get another one, I would aim for higher on that to transpose. My private photo here, SexChat69 site. Let's not do that. Report. Hide user on my channel. Thank you. Goodbye. I've heard of seeing it's hard for us to fight for things as KMS doesn't have them. Regular raids and no familiars also, so it'll be hard for us. I'm glad I quitted Maple. Quitted is not a word. It's just quit. Quit is a past tense. I don't know whoever started with quitted. They really do not care a bit about their NA players. Man, it'd be really cool to just hear what they say in like board meetings, like to which extent any kind of people who are how they give advice based on the trends that they've seen, and to which extent just maths and numbers just like overtake any kind of consideration. It'd be interesting to know that, but that's all just guesstimation and whatever on our side, right? I feel valued as a GMS player. Keg boom. Okay. I honestly didn't think about the FOMO aspect until you brought it up, but FOMO is a big part of why I'm taking a break between totems, tons of dailies, weeklies, etc. The game just expects so much of your time that it's ridiculous. Again, exactly, and that's why I don't do all the weekly bosses on all the characters and don't go for full arcane, because now you have more stuff that you need to upgrade, and then you have to do all of the hard bosses, and then you get pitch boss. You don't, but like you could get pitch boss, and then you have to upgrade that, and then your money goes into like. You're just sliding down a fucking hill trying to hold on to stuff just to kind of slow, or you're crashing down like a fucking raging river, right? Trying to hold on to a rock every now and then so you can catch some breath. It's better to just keep sitting on the raft and just pedal at your pace. That just makes way more sense in my opinion. But then to other people you just look like a huge cuck because you're not as strong as you could be. It's like because that's just all they will see. It's like, oh, but you're not that strong, so bad. Not strong, therefore bad. Number small, bad. Investment energy upgrades, possibly risking downgrades. It's cut down to FOMO, but I think cut down and things less efficient. Slow process. They're slowly making the weeklies better as well. But I agree, dude. Scrapyard and Dark World Tree weeklies are probably the worst piece of content in this game, and I will never fucking do it. I will skip Abzo all day long, all year long, before I have to do those. I don't want to do them. I just don't do them. fuck it. It'll be unfun for me, and I don't need it enough. I don't need that much. Keep it. I can just complete like. Some people will say, "Well, you could just exchange hard carries." I could, but I also don't do that because I still I don't want to do that. Fuck that. I'm gonna just complete like 1 quest per zone at the start for my arcane power. Do they really need me to do 3 runs of Spirit Savior? This could just go back into the argument from before, right? They just want player time, player numbers, and they will put certain things in the game that are just so valuable that you will blame yourself or feel bad about your own time management if you don't do them. And that's why during progression sessions we always talk about like, okay, what kind of dailies do you do? What kind of progress do you want to make? And then what kind of things are fun for you? And then those are the things that we use to see like, okay, what should you probably be doing on a daily and weekly basis? What is a good balance of like fun things and maybe slightly less fun things that can get you there at a decent pace and within a decent time frame, right? Because there's a bunch, like, if people are like, oh, I don't really know the content, or I've never really done Spirit Savior, I always advise people to just go try it, right? Give them some tips and have them try it out. But if people are like, I've tried Spirit Savior, and it's like the most annoying thing in the world to me, and I just don't want to fucking do it, it's like, okay, cool. Then, get your circulators and use them on Arcana. Or whenever there's an event, just try to buy out the Arcana shop or something, right? I'm not going to force you to do something that you just really don't like. But if you don't like it because you were kind of bad at it, and you could get better at it, and then you have more fun doing it, consider it, because it's a huge game. But the game has made Symbol Dailies, of course, so good, and has made Arcane Power and the stats from it so high that it kind of becomes undeniable, right? And this is where my argument from pay to win comes into. I think it's truly pay to win, not because there's some benefit that you can get from spending money, or because there's things you can only get if money is spent. My definition of pay to win is if something is priced in such a way that the benefit you get from it far exceeds the financial cost of it, which makes players feel like assholes and like very inefficient players if they don't spend money and buy it, then I feel like it's pay to win. If something is priced so out of there, like a vac pet kind of is, like $100, I like that price point, because for the people that have the money, they're like, it's worth it, I'll get it. And for the people who don't have the money, they're like, I wish I really had it, but it's $100, and that's a fuck ton of money. So the people who are willing to spend that, they can have the benefit. But for me, that's just too much money, so I'm okay with not getting it. If the vac pet was like $20 or $25, it'd be way worse. Because now, for the people who have a lot of money, it's like, oh, this is cheap as fuck. Like, of course I'll buy it. And now for the people who have the money, or who don't have a lot of money, they still have enough. You always have 20 or $25, right? And now you're like, okay, the game is basically forcing me to pay this money and to the upkeep of like keeping the pet alive. And now that's bad, because that's like real fucking manipulation on the player base part. So I, in a way, the higher price I think is a good thing. It's too much to juggle. The problem is doing a totem was the only way I could justify spending the time grinding for nodes, XP, and meso. But in terms of fun way to really need to make nodes, Bible, and reboot again. Just because it's something that could be faster doesn't mean that it has to happen. There's a step there for the argument that you're missing, right? It's like the system is a certain speed. I wish it was faster, and because it's not faster, it feels bad for me, and I wish I didn't feel bad, so make it faster. It's like there's something missing. There's like an extra argument there that you need, because again, you're not one step away, but you're like 10 steps away with just piling on a little bit. Like, I feel like when you get 5th job, you should just get your full matrix and just everything max, so I don't have to work on it at all, right? Because it's just too much work now, and I wish it was just done. You just get closer to that, but there's a reason, right? From the game's perspective, there's a reason that you have to put in time to get the resources to build it, to slowly build it up, to scale you through the content, to make sure if the game would scale you too fast, you would burn out super quick, or you would be done with all the content super quick, and you wouldn't play for a long time, and then they don't make money off of you. If you go too slow, you get discouraged, you don't get anywhere, and then you quit the game, and they don't make any money off you, right? It's a constant struggle for the game and for the devs and for the speed of progression and all of that stuff to keep working together to make sure that there's enough content for you to hang on to and feel value in, and that there's not enough annoying things for you to make sure that you just don't want to play. And there's always going to be, it's going to connect with some players, it's not going to connect with some other players, but just saying like, I wish it was faster because faster is better, there's an extra element there missing that can make your argument actually strong. So now what you have is an argument, but I feel like it's a weak argument. There's some value there missing. They really need to make notes. But yes. So why? Why do they need to do that? Tell me. Sell me that point. Why do they need to do that? Other than because I want it. Because more is better. 20% software reduction is not enough compensation. I think it was just to cushion the blow a little bit. I don't think they imagined that would just be like, oh, okay, that's fine. Wow, this is actually a win for us, Although it might be cumulative. Or it might be additive. I guess I'm not sure. If it's cumulative, then it's pretty nice. The next shiny Star Force is going to mean major cleanup. But even my other solutions don't address the reduced EXP rates. Yeah, but why do they need to be addressed, right? Make that argument. The financing is actually a horrible financial decision for them. Fewer players will be on Maple M. It kind of reminds me of the decision of like giving a lower cut. Like Twitch giving a lower cut to like the people who make a lot of money. Like I wonder how much money they really got extra with that, like the lower splits on the Twitch money, versus how many people are now just gonna like sign with YouTube instead and just bounce, and then they lose all of that money on the platform. It seems like a interesting, like people who know about the numbers and stuff. It seems like a really really weird decision to do that. And companies make bad decisions all the time, so it is very possible that it is one of those. Defending that is actually a few players will be on Maple M for the reward points. Lots of players are going to quit entirely. That's actually a good point. Yeah, nobody's going to be doing Maple M for reward points anymore. There's no need. You can already get everything from the shop. Yeah, lots of people are going to quit entirely. I think that's true. Although sometimes it's kind of good to kind of like cleanse. Because people who were kind of had their foot out the door kind of weren't really having fun anymore. Sometimes those people do kind of need a push to go do something else. They probably just spend 60 hours a week in a different MMO, but you do get to keep people sometimes who kind of form like, basically like bad apples in your community, who just infect other people around them with like just negativity and just being jaded and that stuff. And sometimes those people need like a little bit of an extra big push to just be encouraged to go find something else, and can't make a omelet without breaking some eggs, right? Something like that. People go into the cash shop fewer times per day, not less times, fewer times. And the reduced spawn rate heavily reduces the need for vac pets in a lot of maps. I was thinking about the vac pet need, how that was going to change. In general, we're going to be training in bigger maps to try to keep our rates good. And bigger maps typically have a lot more platforms, and those are typically more annoying to loot. So I think vac pets will keep relevancy. Although the amount of mesos they will make you are not going to be as high, but mesos value is relatively going to go up. So I don't know if their value goes down. I think it'll stay constant, but I guess it's hard to say exactly if it's going to go down a little bit, go up a little bit, or... They will definitely still be relevant. Whether it's a little bit more, a little bit less, I can't say, but my guess would be around the same. Master Race. Totem makes VAT pets way more valuable and almost required. Often it's nowhere near as bad as people think. You just need to adjust and change maps. You can train in small maps for lazy farming. You have to go towards bigger maps with more monsters. That is a big change, though. For people who they liked playing MapleStory because they were just able to like AFK, watch anime, whatever the fuck, watch a stream from some idiot playing MapleStory, and still make like decent rates, or be like half AFK at work, working from home or something, and then put all of that money towards like an insane amount of progress on their character whenever there's an event. For those people who are trying to get like the easy way of seeing like huge gains with like very little effort, those people are going to get hit the most. Yeah, because you're going to have to work harder for your gains. You're going to have to move around maps, or you just play a class with summons and you just walk around the map replacing your summons, and that's just all you do. Summon classes rise up. It's definitely going to be the era of the summon classes. Late game, end game summons classes were already doing well. They scale well into the end game because they could go to those big maps, but now they can definitely own those really, really big maps. The problem with that is the shitty platform layout for looting. So okay, yeah. So that's basically what I was saying. Yeah. Okay, thank God. So I wasn't talking completely out of my ass. Thank God. The daily weeklies are completely fine. Well, I wouldn't say that. I think it's pretty emotionally manipulative and exploitative. But if you're doing 3 runs of Spirit Savior, God bless, you should be focusing your time on using those totems so you could hit 250 for once a day dailies. If it's taking you 2 hours to Dark World 2 Haven weeklies, you're also doing something wrong. Remember, if you're doing Dark World Tree or Haven, make sure you use the commands. Make sure you choose ! dailies for like the links to the area where you can check which dailies are good and which ones are bad, so you can re-roll. But because some dailies will take they're weeklies, right? So some of these weeklies will take a long time. Not that they wrote weeklies, but dailies. But I fucked up. And some of those need to be re-rolled. So if you don't, there's a good chance that you might end up way longer. And if you get a bad one, it might be a good idea to just not complete that one and just roll, go to another character instead and do the Dark World Tree weeklies over there. Or Scrapyard mainly, right? The Dark World Tree ones are pretty good, but the Scrapyard ones are pretty shitty. Kana Rise Up, yeah, the Kanas are coming back, hardcore. Dark World weeklies are fine, but I have a problem with a Haven though. 4 quests to give you 8 cores and then 1 more and remaining 12 compared to how easy. Yeah, it's imbalanced. Yeah, now to give 20, but it's still a little bit imbalanced. Yeah. At least they made it so you can turn in all quests to one eye. Yeah, they're slowly improving the systems, but never fast enough or never too fast. Yeah. Hope we get the quality of life with copying KMS and not just losing the benefits of me. Yeah, because there is one huge thing is that if you really just fully copy KMS and we just get completely KMS, then we will be worse than KMS. Because our ping will be garbage, right? Compared to what KMS's ping is. So we do definitely need some things as like extra, as boost to be on the same level. But where that is exactly is really hard to say, right? They get multiple EXP events and haven't come here, as well as stable servers. Multiple EXP events that haven't come here. I believe that this might be wrong, so someone from KMS can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that GMS has gotten infinitely more EXP events than KMS ever did. Like a regular 2x event or something on KMS basically didn't exist. They would get like 1 or 2 a year, and there were times where GMS would get them almost weekly for like seasons. So thankfully I already deleted my account. Nice. This is the guy who is on Reddit threads whenever something is fucked up and comments in a Reddit thread. I'm so glad I quit this game 6 years ago, but I'm still on the subreddit here commenting on a daily basis apparently. I hope they put note stones in shops or something like that. That's my main problem with this. Yeah. But again, that's a lower bad, give more. I already had bad rates as a blaster, don't mind the change, to be honest. I already had, you see, it's so weird because it's like, oh, I already had bad rates, so I don't mind the change. And some people were like, my rates were already bad, now they're going to be even worse. It's like exactly the same point, but like completely different conclusion on how that affects you. I think it's a good chance to establish a new standard going forward. Exactly. We're going to have a new standard. We're going to have to see where it is. It's going to be lower, but how much lower is it really going to be? No one now really knows. And the people who think they know or who fear that it's really high are definitely wrong. Because you're just thinking about the maps you're already training in and just removing the spawn from there. And how bad that is going to be. And it is going to be really bad. But you're not going to be training in those maps. We're going to have to go other places. Really still hoping for a buff and a base spawner for all, but offset. Okay, well they're not going to offset their nerf, otherwise they wouldn't have done the nerf, right? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh, you're going to take a pay cut of $100 a week. I'm okay with $100 a week pay cut if you find some way of giving me $100 a week extra. Your boss will be looking at you like, I should actually fire you right now because I can't believe you're working at this company. Jokes on everyone. Not jokes. Joke apostrophe S. Because it's one joke that is on everyone. Jokes on everyone is not written like that. Different saying. Who was in support? Yes, I am that pedantic. Was in support of Nexon getting rid of Kishim. You guys did this. You guys made it okay. Don't cry about it now. Okay. The fucking black pill... they were going to do it anyway. Big doesn't give a shit what the GMS players think. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. You weren't there when we, who saw this coming, fought. Yeah, you keep theory crafting. You didn't fight for shit. You just saw number go down and you thought number go down bad. So you got like sand in your vagina. Don't try to pretend like this is... I unironically saw the post on Reddit where it was like, oh, they were coming for the gypsies and I didn't do anything because I was a gypsy, and then they were coming for the fucking disabled and I didn't do anything because I wasn't disabled. Then they come for the Jews and nobody was there left to speak for me because nobody was left. It's like, bro, you're like fucking equalizing like Nexon trying to balance their game to like the fucking Holocaust. Like, people are just insane, my dude. Like, holy fuck. And then it's like, we saw this coming. Like, I agree. We definitely need conspiracy nuts. We need those people so that you can tell, like, okay, that's like too far. We need to make sure we don't get that far. But you need to keep them around so that you can keep an eye on like where is that line. But that doesn't mean we have to believe like anything you say. In fact, like however far you go, then we know for sure that you've gone too far. So that's not true. This is of course a little. I mean, the guy's name is Mao Dong, and he's got like, is it Xi Jinping and like fucking poo? So this is like a pretty meme account. So you need the litmus test exactly. Yeah. Look where you fight. Where your fight got you. Clearly, they don't care what you think. Refer to original comment. Like talking to a wall. By Chad. Damn. Giga Chad, dude. Donowald. We're not crying. Me and most of my Maple friends think revocation and totems were good things. Not only were totems a shitty system that basically... Dude, you're never going to win, because now he's just going to say, like, the next time anything gets nerfed is like, wow, this is your fault too, because you were okay with these two things getting removed. And now, and he's going to keep saying that, like, over and over until one thing happens that you don't like. And then it's like, see, it's your fault because you were okay those 63 things ago that got nerfed. You'll never win that one, because he'll just keep coming back every single time anything gets nerfed. It's like, see, this is why... Like, oh, look at the mechanic bullets that fire out now in spurts of 3 instead of 4. And you play a mechanic. See, this is what happened because because you didn't stand up for Kishin 6 years ago, you know? I think the problem with Kishin wasn't so much that, like, spawn got increased. The problem with Kishin was that one class was the only class that had a skill that was this impactful with unlimited use. And I've told that this is like similar in a kind of way to, like, if you play League, for example, to like a mechanic like stealth, where it's like, just having that, it's like a cool idea, but man, is that hard to balance. Like, if it's a little bit too strong, it's impossible to play against and the most annoying thing, and it destroys your game. And it's a little bit too weak, then the character is just completely unplayable, because that's what their whole kit is basically built around. And if they can't really use that, and if it's too weak, then the whole character is fucking useless, so you might as well not have it. And it's the same thing with, like, with something like Kishin is like, if you even have it, it has to have some limitations. And if it doesn't have any limitations, then it's just way too strong. Like, you could literally just make a character that only has Kishin and has nothing else, and it would be an overpowered character. Because then everyone would make one and, like, leech it in some way and then put it in the map with them and then just spam it in the map, and 2PC meta would be, like, in full swing. If a class had only Kishin and nothing else, they would be maybe not the most played class, but they would be, like, the second or third place class probably, right? That's just how good that is. If it doesn't have limitations. Martial Labyrinth and Suffering are completely meaningless areas for some gems. Labyrinth is good. It has high burn and everything, but yeah, if you compare it to Limina, because I work with the Totem meta now, people will actually go to these maps and we'll see a better variety of viable training spots. Also, yeah, some of these arguments are good, I think, or they're at least positives that I think are true. That doesn't mean as an overall it's a good move or not. We'll have to see in a while to see if it was a good move or not. And whether it is a good move or not might have to deal with whether or not it answers to, you know, what all change is good, right? To circle all the way back to one of the first comments, whether or not it achieves the goals that Nexon had with implementing the change. The problem is We still don't know what those were exactly, so we won't really be able to, from their point of view, see whether or not it was successful. When therefore most people are looking at through their perspective of, this is how fast I usually progress. This makes me progress slower. My goal is progressing fast. This does not meet my personal goal. Therefore, it's a bad thing, right? And you can't really tell the community that it's weird to look at things through their eyes if the community, if the game dev itself seems to be looking through their eyes and also not share with the community what that is exactly. So yeah. In closing, I guess, assures I think we should get something to compensate for fewer familiars and nodes, but other than that, I think it was a necessary change. Yeah, I mean, all in all, to reiterate, I'm pretty neutral on this. I would like to see what it does, what it changes with the game, with the community, how all of that has effect on it. I'd like to not scream that it's like the worst thing in the world before it even goes live, and I'd like to also not say that it's amazing and it's going to save the fucking game before it even goes live. We'll have to see how it goes, and I hope that it has an overall positive. But again, even if it does for me, that doesn't mean that everyone else will agree, because what is positive, in my opinion, can be negative in someone else's opinion. So yeah, that was me going through all the comments. Let me know if you guys have any leftovers there, if you had any major agreements or disagreements. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. So thanks for checking it out. I'll see you.